Perfect. Hello. Welcome, everyone, to the group conversation for the community relations team. My name is PJ Metz. I'm the education evangelist. I consider myself the new guy on the block because I've only been here 4 months. And when you see me in 3 years, I'm still going to be like, yeah, I'm the new guy here. We are here to talk about the great things that we've been doing on the community relations team for the past 6 months. 3 months, sorry, 6 weeks. I know what I'm doing, I promise. We're going to go ahead and work through this agenda. I see we've got a question from Natasha up first. Natasha, would you like to verbalize?
I think Natasha might not be on the call.
Not be on. All right, I'll go ahead and verbalize for them. I see you have increased collaboration for internal meetups. Are there plans to increase collaboration with external meetups? And I know that that one is something that Jamie was talking about. Jamie, would you like to talk about this?
Yes, absolutely. So super excited that we've had an increase in internal meetups. So we're definitely living up to the fundamental of collaboration. And also with the 10-year anniversary coming up, we have there should be an upswing with external meetups as well, as we're asking our organizers to share and collaborate on their fondest moments of since the first commit as well. So you'll definitely see a ramp up in the next month.
Awesome, that's spectacular. All right, Natasha also has the next one. Outside of Michael and Brendan speaking, what else can we expect to see from the community team at KubeCon? Who would like to take that one, talking about KubeCon?
I can do it. So what I will be doing is I've made a pre-selection of all the talks I want to attend. It's a little unfortunate that it's not in my time zone, so it will be late evening in Europe, but I'm trying to live tweet and cover and engage everything in the event chat and with the community. I think Brendan and Abubakar will try to do the same and make this a live tweeted, insightful event for everyone.
To add to that, Michael has always really done a lot of great live tweeting during events, and he always gets a lot of great engagement on those tweets. And sometimes if you're not able to make an event, you can just read Michael's Twitter feed and you can see exactly what's going on. He has a real knack for like highlighting very specific things that'll be interesting to his followers. So he does a really good job with that. Anyone else want to say anything about KubeCon?
Yeah, I would just add, we're waiting for the final staffing details to come through from the corporate events team, but ideally, I plan to be there in person if the travel request goes through. There's a board strategy meeting there that we're going to be involved in, as well as a number of other events with Priyanka, who's obviously a good friend of ours and now runs the CNCF. So I anticipate covering a lot of ground on the ground. I said those two things together there if the travel request works out.
Yeah, I think two other things to highlight would be the committed KubeCon Day 0 event. Brandon will be speaking at that, and he and I have been working to help kind of program that event. And Marin will also be doing a talk. So shout out to Marin. This one was supposed to happen at the KubeCon in EMEA, but he's actually going to be attending the NA event in person and delivering the talk there. So that should be a really exciting talk about our, GitLab.com's migration to Kubernetes.
And that Day 0, go ahead, Michael.
I forgot to mention that I helped the Gitpod DevX Cloud Native Day, which is a 0-day event. I was on the CFP committee and helped build out the outline, and I'm planning to attend and help moderate this as well. So it will definitely be an exciting but very busy week.
Sounds like our DE team's really involved with KubeCon, and that Day 0 event is, I believe, the Tuesday before KubeCon. So let's move on to the next question. We have, I'm going to go back to number 1. There's something that got added. We know GitLab's 10-year anniversary is coming up soon. You can't give anything away. Can we hear a sneak peek of what the community team has planned for the 10-year anniversary? I think, Jamie, I know you've got some stuff planned with the heroes. Can you talk a little about that maybe?
Yeah, sure. So a sneak peek is, like I mentioned before, doing a global meetup campaign. The goal is to have at least 10 meetups hosted between October 4th and the 8th. Basically creating a meetup in a box to make it really simple for the organizers to make sure they align with our messaging. Also asking for blogs from the external folks so they could highlight. So we're asking folks to share their stories on blogs, and then we'll roll out a social campaign around that as well. And then trying to think, what am I missing, team? Trying to think what else we have going on.
Yeah, I think the one other thing that we're supporting is Ash is putting together like this GitLab kind of virtual museum concept. And we'll be helping select the artifacts that are displayed in that museum. I just got plugged into that yesterday, so I don't have great insight into that. So it's kind of a sneak peek to me too, but it should be pretty cool based on what I saw.
David, would you like to verbalize what you have there as an answer as well?
Yeah, sorry, you might have heard me typing as well. I was unmuted. Apologies. Yeah, I just wanted to mention the Hacktoberfest collaboration. This is an event that happens once a year. It's organized by DigitalOcean, and the goal of the event is to contribute to open source projects. In the past, this had been limited to GitHub. There had been an ongoing request to be able to participate to open source projects or contribute to open source projects in GitLab. This time, this year, first time ever, people will have the ability to contribute to GitLab. We're not just very excited about this, but also we see this as an opportunity for people to contribute to GitLab hosted open source project, but also to GitLab, the project as well. So we'll be working with the engineering team from within the community team, and specifically from the code contributor program, to capitalize on that potential influx of contributions as well. And thanks a lot for adding the links, Jamie.
Perfect. Thank you, David, Jamie, and John, and Christina. One more thing to talk about coming up on 10 years.
Sure, yeah. So building up to the 10-year anniversary, we're working with corporate comms on a PR campaign around hitting 1 million plus users in the GitLab for Education program. And then we'll also kind of wrap in some of the work with the last mile and other nonprofits as part of that.
Fantastic. So there's a little preview of what we've got going on for the 10-year anniversary. Next is Megan. Would you like to verbalize if you're on the call?
Yeah, thanks. First of all, I just want to say this is really great. I haven't been to one of your group calls before to see some of the awesome work that y'all are doing. And it made me think, how can members of teams outside of community relations help support maybe contributing content, topics, helping out with events, things like that, if we wanted to be more involved with those things.
Awesome. We really welcome people getting involved with us because we are a team of 10, and we're very excited to do that cross work with other teams. Let's see, who would like to take this community relations team, talk about how outside groups.
I'll start, and then maybe I'll hand it over to Christos, because one of the big things that we would love help with is sharing on social and encouraging your networks to participate in our upcoming hackathon. That's essential. Of getting that the news out there. And actually PJ had on a Twitch stream, Christos is the guest this morning. And so that'll be up on the Unfiltered channel, and they're talking about how exciting the hackathon is, and it's a great conversation. So if you are all willing to share that with your networks, that would be super awesome. And I think that's one of the big things, is helping us amplify the message. So we're kicking off our 2021 GitLab's DevOps and Education survey, and we got a lot of great respondents last year and a lot of press, and we're starting to build thought leadership with that. So sharing the survey on social, and if you have a university and you study computer science and you want to send the survey over to them, even if they're not using GitLab, it still increases awareness of our program and what we're doing, and helps us identify some challenges that they're having in their journey to adopt DevOps. So I'll stop there and see if anyone wants to add anything.
I'll just plug Brendan runs a speakers lean coffee meeting, which is a great place to go if you're interested in speaking externally. So I just wanted to give that one a shout out.
And the speakers lean meets was it once every few weeks, Brendan? And it's an opportunity if you want to speak more, come on in and we just talk about opportunities to speak and sort of best practices and things like that. It's really, really great if you're looking to speak more, and it gets us involved together. It's awesome.
I'm really glad you brought that up. That actually is exactly what I wanted to hear. So thank you very much for that. I will definitely be checking that out.
Yeah, it's once a month on the third Thursday. And yeah, you can find, we'll put a link to the handbook in there in just a second. Michael's doing that right now. Would love to have you. Want to really encourage and enable folks to speak. There's a lot of folks that want to hear from GitLab, both as a company and from a technical perspective, and from a open core leadership. There's a lot of folks that are hungry to hear from us and how we run the company, and we've got this great handbook that's public that shows a lot of it. But just reading that is kind of a little intimidating. So the more that we can tell our story, I think the more we'll benefit. So for sure, join that. And there's also a CFP Slack channel where folks can post like open CFPs. There's a few that we track. You can read more about that in the handbook. But that CFP channel is for any and all calls for proposal that for speaking that may come up.
Fantastic. Thank you all.
There's a couple more. David, did you want to verbalize?
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to mention the fact that one part of that's really rewarding from participating in the GitLab communities meeting the people. Essentially, our wider community always appreciated when team members join meetups, either as a regular attendee with no pressure to run a presentation or anything, just to have a coffee chat and get to know the GitLab community at large, or as a presenter as well. Some of those meetup organizers are often looking for people to present topics, and people are very interested in specific parts of the product as well. I've put a link in there to our meetups page, and have a look at it to see if there's anything nearby or any topic that interests you in terms of current meetups. And then Jamie Rachel, as you've already seen her today, is our DRI for the meetups community. So to get in touch with her, organize a coffee chat.
Yes, I will definitely be doing that. Thank you very much.
And just to really quick piggyback on what David just shared, we've had a number of new internal meetups being built, and Pilar's on the call, and she kind of attested that she's created 2 meetups, one for government users and one for the Latin TMRG group, and they're hosting and also part of the GitLab community as well. So even if you don't want to just participate or you have content that you want to share, reach out to me as well, and I'll help you get organized.
And to tag that, I just wanted to introduce to Jamie and the whole team. I think I reached out to almost all of you for a coffee chat or something as we were doing the government user group and also the Latinx TMRG. And as far as our inaugural meetup with the government user group, it has been one of the most significant ones for our team. So we're really excited to keep that effort going, and really excited at the engagement we see on Meetup. So just a big thank you to the community team for all the support.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And then Brendan had a note about where you can find us on Slack. And then Michael with something as well about pitching blog post ideas in the trending Slack channel for the editorial team. Lots of ways to get involved with us, and we welcome all of them. So thank you all for your responses. And thank you for that question, Megan. That was a good one. Brendan, would you like to verbalize your question to me so I can answer it?
Sure, yes. PJ, could you tell me a little bit more about these Twitch streams you've been doing? I heard the kids are on Twitch and wanted to know what
the use these days. They are all about the streaming. So yeah, part of my way to create content and drive outreach is I took Twitch and I've created 2 shows. One called Meet the Tanukis, and that is where we do interviews with internal team members. So far, I've talked to Brendan, Jamie, Christos, Michael, and I'm forgetting one. I know I've done other people. But I'm slowly making my way. And who was it?
Abu Bakr.
Abu Bakr. Oh, Abu Bakr. That was like my first episode was Abu Bakr. But we're doing amazing stuff where we just chat for half an hour about their history, how they got into GitLab, how they got into tech. And then we turn them into YouTube videos and put it up on the Unfiltered channel. And there's also some practical dev articles where you can have what's called a series, and you can find all of the links, all of the videos there as well. The other show I'm doing on Twitch is called the Techie Tanuki, and that's right now for student spotlights, but we're going to expand that to be other education stakeholders and people outside of GitLab. It's very conversational. We hang out on Twitch. We try and engage with the chat when we got some people in there. And it's a great way to, one, create a conversation so people feel like they could just come in. In Michael's session this morning, we had about 6 people watching, and almost all of them were involved in the chat and responding, and we were responding to them. And it creates this great community feel on Twitch. And afterwards, you've got a video. And if you want to build off of something that was talked about in the conversation, you can create an article. You can use it to create a new tutorial. There's a bunch of great stuff that comes out of that. And I'm really excited to be able to be using Twitch in this way for this company, something that we didn't really have before. And that's what's happening on Twitch. All right. How are you choosing people for the show, Cynthia? I saw that question. Basically, right now I'm doing the community relations team, and what I'm looking to do in the future is create a issue template where you can request, and hopefully I'll have like between 3 and 4 team members per month, maybe per quarter on the show. And so that's something I'm looking to start doing in Q4 once I've wrapped up this current quarter of work. So be on the lookout in the future. If you want to get on Twitch and talk about something, if you've got an event you want to plug, if you've got a feature you really want to talk about, this is a way that we'd love to help you do that outreach. So keep an eye out for that in Q4. Jen, would you like to verbalize your question?
Sure. Yeah, I would just like to know what the top highlights are for your team, either individually or as a group, that you're most proud of. It could be either from the last quarter or you're dealing with your plans for the rest of the year, whether they're metrics or more qualitative, like learning a new skill, or a community relations highlight, professional milestone, etc. You guys are doing a lot of really great work, and I'd love to know what's sticking out the most to you.
Thanks. That's a great question. For me, it's my hat, actually. I just got this yesterday. I'm most excited about it. But Christina, you're talking about these education case studies that were published. Could you talk to us a little bit about those?
Yeah, sure. So I just want to give a shout out to Fiona and the whole content team who helped bring 2 education case studies to publish this quarter, and are just within the last few weeks, actually. So one is Harriet Watt University, and they are a leading computer science university in Scotland. And they've recently expanded to 4 campuses in several different countries. And they've built over 21 courses using GitLab, and they've created a completely automated system for grading and feedback and collaboration. And it's all open source. It's absolutely unbelievable. And it took us a while to get these case studies over the finish line. So we're super happy about that. And then the other one is University of Surrey. So I'll stick the links in here in just a second. But again, thanks to Fiona and all her hard work for getting them across the line.
Those case studies are really exciting for us. We're very excited to have those from those organizations, especially. Christos, you've got some highlights from the past quarter, and you said specifically our collaboration with the production engineering team. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, thanks. I'm just linking to the slide deck where we keep a track of our last quarter's highlights and then some lowlights, and at least for me specifically for the Code Contributor Program, our collaboration with productivity engineering team for increasing content contributions and improving generally the review process and of community MRs. I'm gonna link to that on a second. Someone else can go next because we're a lot of people.
Yeah, anyone else want to tell us about something that they're excited about? Maybe the developer evangelist team?
I think one thing I'm excited about our team, we measure impressions as like our KPI, and our team did an unbelievable job on that metric last quarter. So really excited about that. And I think I'm optimistic that we can keep that going, because we have some, great stuff happening in this quarter, like KubeCon, those type of events tend to help with the metrics a lot. And then Brendan had a tweet go like viral yesterday on the Apple event. So that should give us a little boost. I was also really happy with the commit event. We put together a lot of content for that, and that event went really well. And the community engagement in the chat throughout that event was very high. So I was proud of that as well.
Thanks, John. Commit especially, I felt, like I said, I'm one of the newer people here. So when I was getting involved with Commit in the chat and watching Brendan and Michael and everyone get involved in the chat, it was really a great feeling to be like, oh, I'm a part of this team. And it really made me feel like I was in the right place. So Commit was a great success for the community relations team for sure. Anyone else, something they're proud about, something to look forward to? And reminder, you can still put questions in the document if, for those of you who are looking to ask something, no homework required. You can just ask questions.
I want to add, so I'm doing too many things. I just want to pick out some things which are super amazing. I found a way to create better blog posts, or good blog posts around Gitpod, around the features which inspired GitLab from Fabricator, and also the 10 quick actions. So I'm really looking forward to creating more thoughtful content. And the other thing which excites me, I'm getting known for being a thought leader in observability and monitoring, which is amazing because I get invited into podcasts and more speaking engagements, which fills in my calendar, and I'm super busy, but I totally love doing that.
Fantastic. You mentioned Gitpod again, and you know that's my favorite thing in the whole world is Gitpod. I can't stop using it. It's great. All right. That's it for the questions in the agenda. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you coming out today. And like we said earlier, there's tons of ways to contact us and work with us. So we look forward to hearing from some of y'all in the next few weeks. So reach out and we'll be in touch.